How is it going? We are here right now for the introductory press conference of the new head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, Pete Carroll, and general manager John Spytek. Shout out to everybody hanging out right now. We decided to go live, react to all of this. It's a monumental moment in Raiders history right now. And this could either turn out really great, something positive for the future, or a complete disaster, and people will be asking for Pete Carroll's head in no time. We know that these Raiders fans are very passionate, but I think it's going to be very exciting. I'm curious to see what he has to say. I'm curious to see, sorry about that, curious to see who shows up. Is Mark Davis going to be there the whole time? Is Tom Brady going to be hanging out here during this press conference? It could be pretty interesting. I think we'll be able to see who's calling the shots. You know what I found really weird last time, because every year us Raiders fans, we get a new head coach, right? Every year, our annual new head coach. Well, last time during the Tom Telesco introductory press conference and the Antonio Pierce one, I thought it was weird that Mark Davis kind of just said a comment really quickly in the beginning, didn't say much, and then left. I thought that was really weird because I remember the Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler introductory press conference. Mark Davis is like part of it the whole time. He's sitting there at the podium with them the whole time. You know, remember he made that joke about how he says it wasn't a fumble, the tuck rule, with the Josh McDaniels press conference. So I just felt like Mark Davis was way more involved, and yeah, he was just part of it and a regular speaker. He was even fielding questions in the Josh McDaniels press conference. That's when we had that famous line from him where he said, you know, we're trying to get to the next level, trying to get a Super Bowl. It's not a rebuild, not a reload. Shout out to all the people here right now. Shout out to Materian. I am here for it. Appreciate you hanging out, man. And glad that we're filing in and having to deal with another Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl appearance, guys. When will it end? And by the way, dude, like, I am the one who's always quick to blame the refs. There was one catch that was a bad call, but at the end of the day, man, the Chiefs are just on fire. I mean, they executed more at a higher level than the Bills. I felt like Josh Allen wasn't as clutch as I thought he was going to be and missed a couple throws. I'm not going to chalk all that up to the referees. I think the Chiefs did, unfortunately are just really that good this year, especially in clutch moments. But there was that one catch. Was it the jump ball that Xavier Worthy grabbed? It was him or Hollywood, where it hit the ground and it was like tied 50-50, and they gave it to the offense, because when it's tied 50-50, both of them have their hands on it, you give it to the offense. Kind of hit the ground. I thought they got lucky on that one catch there, but other than that, I wasn't super disappointed in the officiating. Look, I was going into watching the game expecting to be disappointed by the officiating, but that just didn't happen. Like me more than anybody, I want to be like, you know what? They had it freaking rigged on this call. That is why they won the game. The refs were against the Bills the whole time. I was ready to do that, but then unfortunately, I'm seeing people drop passes on the Bills. I'm seeing Josh Allen miss a couple throws. I'm seeing some dumb ass play calls by the Bills. Oh, it's 3rd and 10. We have the best quarterback in the NFL, and it's 3rd and 10 in the final drive. Hey, I'm the Bills. Let's do a screen, a wide receiver screen to Amari Cooper. Like there was just some play calls where I was just so frustrated with the Bills. I was like, dude, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? You guys want the Chiefs to win? Did that super chat show up on the screen yet? Shout out to Rich Wolf. We're the Seattle Bay Raider near Hawks. But yeah, dude. Seattle in the desert, baby. The new Raiders. So Saints were becoming the Oakland Raiders. Now the Las Vegas Raiders are becoming the Seattle Seahawks. We need to get Russell Wilson, get Bobby Wagner. If the Commanders do not re-sign him, hey, he did well in the playoffs. I wouldn't mind Bobby Wagner if he wants to go one more year. Make a trade for Tyler Lockett, because I don't think we're going to get DK Metcalf. That's next. Marshawn Lynch out of retirement probably won't happen. That would be cool. And who else? KJ Wright, bring him back. He's on the Niners coaching staff. He was a former Raider. Bring KJ Wright back. So, whoa, I think we're starting. Uh-oh. Okay. I think they are starting up over here. We'll see. Uh-oh. Oh, wow, okay. You know, let me do, I don't think I'm going to sponsor this stream. So I got their loading the screen. Okay. It's just the analysts right now, just the analysts. So we'll wait up. But we want to react to what Pete Carroll's saying. Shout out to Tedford Von Patron in the chat. Next head coach will be John Madden Skeleton. Yes, we got an old guy. Pete Carroll is married though. I don't think he's going to be the 73-year-old like Bill Belichick with a with the 24-year-old. We're not going to get that kind of coach with Pete Carroll. I don't think he's as wild as Bill B. But he's definitely freaking old. He's definitely old as hell. All right, let me see what's so we're just waiting for I really want to know what he's going to wear. And then that sounds, and no Diddy with that. But what's he going to do? Is he going to try to look younger? Maybe he's going to dress more sporty. Since he doesn't want to look like too old of a guy, maybe he'll do some Under Armour or something like that. Or is he going to do a suit? Because a suit, no matter what, is going to make you look older. So I don't know if Pete Carroll's going to go with the suit. So when he had the introductory press conference with the Seattle Seahawks 14 years ago, had a suit. Dude, he has looked, he's one of those guys who's always looked kind of old, but also healthy. He's always looked old and healthy like the whole time. He's looked like he's just stayed the same age. He's never changed. All right.
Likes about the field, the players on the football field, what he doesn't like.
Okay, so they're just giving their opinion. Our rivalry with the LA Chargers just got real. Why is this thing not loading up here? Let me see if I can get it. Appreciate you, Rich Wolf, but the Jim Harbaugh, Pete Carroll, I want to see if that's still going to carry over. Are they going to be nice to each other? Maybe it's been so long, but that is really cool that we're getting that same rivalry carrying over there. We just need to start getting some players. We need some players who are going to talk as much trash as some of the popular Seahawks players like Legion of Boom. We need a Richard Sherman. We need somebody like that. Or I was even looking back at Jalen Ramsey when he was with the Jaguars. He used to be a big time trash talker. We need that too. In addition, we can't just have only the head coach be the one with beef. We need players with some beef as well. But we'll see. Is he going to do the same thing? I think we're going to get this navy colored thing here. We'll see if he mixes it up. Are we live yet? No. All right. Wow. And right before Bill Belichick, Patriots head coach, we all forget about that. But hey, man, you could stay employed 13 years. However, he gave the franchise their only Super Bowl, so you're going to have some more patience with him. Maybe Seattle wanted to move on sooner to switch to McDonald. I don't know. But that whenever you can stay 13 years somewhere, that is pretty crazy. So while we wait for him to come out, there is a really interesting thing here while we wait for him to come out. And this is about the Raiders QB situation.
Pete Carroll and the new brass have a huge decision to make. Here's an interesting name to keep an eye on. Russell Wilson. I know the Steelers have said.
So, we floated the idea of Russell Wilson going to. Let me see. Did he just come out? No. We floated the idea of Russell Wilson going to the Las Vegas Raiders when Pete Carroll was signed because you had him being interviewed about it on the Pat McAfee show. Russell Wilson was interviewed about Pete Carroll potentially getting the Raiders job. And I felt like maybe there's some legs to that. Maybe it would be a match made in heaven. Maybe like it's both just two people who have worked with each other and maybe it didn't work out perfectly last time towards the latter end. They both sort of need each other. They're both in a weird position where they sort of need each other. And then now you have Ian Rappaport and top NFL insiders talking about Russell Wilson going to the Raiders. So it's for real. I mean, and that's the thing when people say clickbait and all this stuff. Well, now look what happens. You want to say it's clickbait, Russell Wilson going to the Raiders? Well, now what? Ian Rapsheet is talking about Russell Wilson He's an option for the Raiders starting quarterback in 2025. Both sides have expressed some mutual
They want Russell
love
Wilson
here.
back. I know Wilson has said he would like to be back. My understanding, though, is Russell Wilson wanted to play for the Raiders last offseason. He keeps a close relationship with Pete Carroll. Would not be surprised if they revisited that this offseason.
Would not be surprised if they revisit that this offseason. Russell Wilson, an option for starting QB in 2025, and a nice little Raiders logo right here, baby. Hey, I would take Russ. I would take Russ over whatever happened last year. Pete Carroll knows the guy. That would be bad. Russell Wilson, Aiden O'Connell, and you know what? I think Gardner Minshew should stay on the team as a backup option. I mean, we're already paying the guy. That's a good room. I do not. Unfortunately, I hope Aiden O'Connell is better than Russell Wilson, but I do not believe Tedford Von Patriot. Josh McDaniels is back on his knee pads in New England. Oh wait, does the voice read it out? No, the voice is not reading it out because we had some issues with that. Back on his knee pads in New England, I see Al Davis is rolling over in his grave. Head coach older than him next year. Raiders can get Biden for head coach, make NFL senile again. Hey, yeah, exactly. As long as Pete Carroll doesn't have any Biden moments, as long as he stays sharp with it, we don't see him stuttering and messing up key details. As long as he's staying sharp with it, we're good. We're good. But he better not, once he starts slipping, we better have a replacement plan, man. But that's hilarious, dude. Al Davis being a coach older than him in the league. I do think, though, Pete Carroll is probably healthier than Andy Reid. Look, Andy Reid called a good game yesterday. I don't know if he's doing all the play calling or it's Matt Nagy, but he called a pretty good game. Maybe his weight is helping with that. Maybe we need a fluffier coach. If they're going to call a game like that, maybe we need a fluffier coach. Maybe Pete Carroll's too skinny. It's not too old, but too skinny to be our head coach. Oh my God. You guys are so mean. Min shit? That's what you're calling Minshew? Min shit? Oh, shit. That was funny. Shout out to Tedford Von Patriot. But, yo, they were in the room, and now they're back to them talking. Once it's Pete Carroll talking or the GM, I'll turn on the audio. But yeah, they were in the room with the three Lombardis, baby. The three Lombardis. I like that. Oh, dude, there's a shitload of people watching on the main channel. Okay. You know what, though?
There and also one with
I'm not going to super hate because I mean, I do think it's going to be better. I do think I'm not going to make fun of the Pete Carroll too much, but because I do think it is going to be better. I'm just wondering how much better. If we can get to wild card once in the next 2 years, then that's a success. And then I would say at least over 6 wins in the first year, then that would be a success. Legion of medication? He better. That's the thing, dude. If he's gonna bust out the Just for Men or anything like that, he's got to do it today. If he wants to show the energy and the youth, they got to do it during the introductory press conference. This is the time where he needs to look as young as possible. He doesn't need to go Tom Brady far where he's doing Botox, where we got Botox Brady. You don't need to go that far, but we need a little. Oh, Mark Davis.
The general manager of the Las Vegas Raiders, John Spytek.
Wait a second. I want to hear the very beginning of the. Hold on.
Help people and hopefully get it done here with the Raiders.
Okay, we're going to go live to the press conference.
Here to introduce the general manager of the Las Vegas Raiders, John Spytek. John, please come on in.
Oh my God, he sounds like he doesn't even want to do the presentation. It's like a kid doing homework.
And the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll.
I'm going to have some things to say afterwards, but right now I'm going to let you get to these guys and learn about what the future of the Raiders holds for us.
You guys step up on the stage and we'll take a quick photo op before you get going.
Quick little photo op. Okay. We better not be doing this again next year.
Right here. What's going on?
Pick it up.
All right. Let me just introduce you.
Quarter zip sweater is what Pete Carroll went with. That's smart. I like that.
Also, I'd like to introduce the families of John's wife, Kristen. Here they are, and Jack and Tom. Children.
Oh, Max Crosby in the back.
Pete's wife, Glenna, is also here. Give them a hand. I want to welcome them to the Raider family, and let's go.
We'll begin with some opening remarks from General Manager John Spytek, followed by Head Coach Pete Carroll, and then we'll open it up for questions. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mark, for the introduction. I cannot express how grateful and excited I am to be here, to be given this opportunity, to be a part of an iconic cornerstone franchise like this. So just a dream come true for me, with many dreams still out in the future to get accomplished. This isn't the final goal, but this was certainly one of my career goals, and just so grateful for the time, the belief in me, and Coach Carroll to do our thing and make this organization proud. I want to thank everybody for coming today as well.
What the heck happened?
The support is awesome. It means a lot to see so many people here. They've seen some familiar faces, and I can't wait to get to know you all better and work hand in hand with all of you. So I want to thank the interview group as well. It was a tremendous experience sitting in front of those people, having them answer questions, having them throw questions at me, having them challenge me. To have their belief as well, along with Mark's, is just something that is empowering. It gives me confidence, and I feel that they made a great decision. So I couldn't be more excited to be here. I want to thank the Glazer family too for having me the last 9 years. It was an awesome opportunity to work for a great franchise. They are an awesome ownership group. They gave us all the resources to do our jobs well. Proud what we accomplished there, and just grateful to have had the opportunity to work for them. I want to thank some of my mentors that I would
where's
not be here
Brady
without.
at?
Tom Heckert, the late Tom Heckert.
I haven't seen Brady.
Who believed in me when I was a young scout, young copy
I saw
scout,
Crosby in the
24
back.
years old, out of Michigan.
Max
Thought I knew
Crosby.
everything, but he took me under his wing, gave me opportunities, and really that's what, to me, this league is about: finding young people that are hungry, that love the game of football, giving them a chance to pursue their passion, their dreams. Jason Light, my boss the last 9 years at Tampa, believing in me when I was a young scout as well in Philadelphia, giving me an amazing chance to help lead a franchise at a young age, at 35 years old. I
Who's
work
the
every day to
QB?
make him proud. We accomplished a lot together, and I'm just so grateful for him. And then two of my other mentors from the dreaded Denver Broncos, I have to say it though, Matt Russell and John Elway from my time there.
Hey, there
They
you
picked
go.
me
A
up
little sense
when
of
I was
humor.
kind of at a low in my professional career, and gave me an opportunity to kind of revitalize myself, reshape myself, and chase a passion again. My family sitting in the front row here, I'm going to try not to get too choked up. My wife, Kristen, is
Oh,
my rock.
shit.
She is the strongest person I know. She is a unbelievable mother to these two boys, Jack and Tommy, down here, who I couldn't be more proud of. They're doing awesome right now. They're behaving. They look awesome, and they look awesome in silver and black. And they cannot wait for me to shut up so they can go back out and throw balls all over the practice field out there. But
Whatever,
you're gonna see
they're-
my wife
they're trying to play
around a lot.
Fortnite.
She,
They're not trying to
gonna be
throw
a big
balls.
pillar in this community. We're going to be big pillars in this community. It's important to us to give back, and she's as tough as they come too. So I promise you, I'm ready for this job, because she's harder on me at home than anybody else is when it comes to football. My mom and my dad, I wish they could be here today. My dad is actually getting hip surgery right now, a hip replacement.
Timberline,
so we can get
that's
back on the
hilarious.
golf course and pickleball. I love you both. I would not be here without your love and support. You showed me what it is to be a parent, to support children, and You know, I think these two are doing so well right now because of the gifts that my mom and dad gave me and the support they gave me growing up. A couple more people here. My high school coach, Bill Young, one of the winningest coaches in the history of the state of Wisconsin. I learned at a young age what winning looks like, what a great program looks like, what
Hey, don't be checking your watch.
toughness looks like, how to compete. I've never forgot it. He's still coaching to this day. He's like 75 years old. He can't give it up and wins state championships all the time. So, Coach, I hope you're out there watching somewhere. I love you. Thanks for.
Why are you looking at me?
Just a guy that loves football, just like you.
That's what I was thinking, 75. Look at him,
A couple more here, then I'll turn it over to this guy.
Sorry, my bad.
That was good, dude.
And the University of Michigan for giving me a chance to follow my first football dream, to play at the greatest university there is.
That's funny.
I know a lot of people would disagree with that, but we have the most wins all time, and I will not apologize for that. So
Good for you.
I learned about what team is about, what selflessness is about, what toughness is about, what competitive stamina is about, and that's going to be some of the pillars that we talk about and enforce here. All the scouts that I've worked with throughout my career, I learned so much from you. This is not me sitting up here. I feel like this is us sitting up here. I tried to learn so much from every person that I was around, from the Eagles to the Browns to the Broncos to the Bucks, and now here. I don't pretend to have all the answers. I've met so many wonderful people along the way that I worked great with that helped me get to where I'm at. And then the final people
Pete
I
Carroll
wanna
might
thank
do a
are the
good job.
players. To me, this game has always been about the players. I have a love affair of watching this game. I have a love affair of watching players compete. They're the ones that lay it on the line every Sunday, Monday night. My respect for them is immense. And I would not be here without the players that I've been a part on the teams I've been a part of, the Tristan Wirfs of the world, the Peyton Mannings of the world, the Demarius Thomases of the world. I mean, I could go on and on. Joe Thomas. I mean, I've been around truly some of the great players of the last 20 years, and I've got to see what it looks like, what greatness looks like, what competitiveness looks like. I see Max standing back there. He embodies all that stuff that we're talking about.
No.
And I just love watching
You ain't getting traded,
players
buddy.
compete and perform, and I am so grateful
That's
to
what
all
he's
the
saying,
men
basically.
that competed and laid it on the line so I could sit in a spot like this today. And the last thing I want to say before I turn it over to Coach is when I dreamt about having one of these jobs, I always wanted it to be with an iconic franchise like the Raiders. I'm not sure I ever got far enough in my dreams as a young kid in Pewaukee, Wisconsin, that I could be sitting up here today with the Raiders. But here I am. And there's just some teams where it means a little bit more. There's just some teams where they deserve to be the NFL's better when they're crushing it. And to have been given that responsibility is not something I take lightly, but I am extremely honored and humbled to be up here with that opportunity out in front of us. And I cannot be more excited to get started and to get started with Coach Carroll here. So I appreciate you all. I look forward to getting to know all your names, getting to know all you better, talking with you. And
let's
build
hope
this
he
thing the right
lasts.
way so the Raider Nation can be proud. The former players for the Raiders can be proud. And, we can be where some of these teams are now, still playing. That's the goal.
Because we did this
you
shit
all.
last year. We better not be doing this again. A new presser with a new GM next year. We did this shit let's hope he lasts longer than 12 months.
This special day is unique, and
oh, shit. Here we go.
and for so many reasons. I first want to say I'm so fired up to be here with John, and because I know that first time around is really something, and so we're gonna celebrate this in a fantastic way. We're gonna partner in this thing. It's so important that our relationship is dynamic and extraordinary and true, and so you'll see that come in time. So nice job, man. Congrats. Being a kid that grew up in the Bay Area and kind of my dad
Frisco.
maybe a Niners fan when we were going to Kezar Stadium back in the day, parking in Golden Gate Park, and then the Raiders came to town. And when you're in the Bay Area, you can take sides and all, but the Raiders captured me a long time ago, and I'm just filled with gratitude to be part of this. There's so many elements that made this come together that are so special and so unique. And as you heard John, we start right with family and the support that we get. My wife Glenna is here. That she's been through it all. We've been through every imaginable experience in this game, and she has stood so strong with me, and she's meant everything in the world. She's been involved with this process all the way throughout, and side by side, we're here, and so we're really
He's a good
excited
speaker.
about that.
Yeah, he's a really
got
good speaker.
Big family, because you mentioned the numbers. I've got grandkids, and I love them, and we got a bunch of them, and we got a whole family to follow this venture that we take here. This really begins with the Davis family, and I grew up under Mark's dad, watching this program come together. But I've seen in such short order, just in this time that we've come together to get to this point, Mark Davis put together an extraordinary group to make this happen and make this a unique opportunity in the league, and a unique opportunity for the Raider Nation and for our fans that will follow us, and it's one of a kind. And he's assembled a group to support us that I know that John and I have just been knocked out by ownership that is one of a kind. And Elon Durbin is part of this. Michael Meldman's part of this. Tom Wagner's part of this.
What about Brady?
But when
He
Mark
ain't bring up Brady
figured
yet.
out how valuable it would be to put Tom Brady
Oh,
in this
there we go.
mix and bring that kind of football background and history, Mark made a great move. And it's our job to celebrate that for Mark, and to make sure that this comes to life the way it can, with the great possibilities and the great future and the immediate future as well. So my hat's off to you guys. I'm so fired up that we're doing this together, and it's going to be unique. And they're going to be surprised what comes.
Oh, okay.
As far as for my opportunities, I've been all over the place. You guys all know that, and I've had.
So he's saying we're going to do some
chances
shit
to start up programs that had faltered in the past. And when we went to USC, it was after being fired a couple times, and I've been through that. And I was a young coach, and found out I didn't know anything after my experiences, but had an opportunity to find my philosophy and my approach. And following the New England days, and the next stop was USC, and that university was an extraordinary match for me at the time. They were struggling. We put something together, and we did something historic there on the really based on a philosophy that came out of all of the years before, the 27 years it took me to get to that point in my coaching career. And to me, I look back at the days in Los Angeles at SC as really the building blocks of the philosophy that we were able to take to Seattle, and to carry the mentality and the approach and the design of it and the culture that we established into the NFL to see if it would work. It was really just an experiment in my mind. But in both situations, it just took us a couple of years to get going. And I know that rhythm, and I'm expecting that rhythm. I'm anticipating that we're going to find that rhythm right here, right now.
So he's being real, saying it's going to take a couple of years.
Vegas. And so,
like 1 to
with
2
the
years.
Raiders and this opportunity, I feel like I've been there before. And I'm going to bank on that. And I'm going to follow my instincts and support with John and through, as we extend to ownership, in a way that we're going to be proud of, and we're going to be fired up about who we are and what we stand for. We have a great following in the Raider Nation, and they've done amazing. They've made an amazing statement globally, and I'm so proud to be part of that, and recognizing that we get to represent our following, and here in Las Vegas to do it in this setting right here, where people can't wait to come see us. They can't wait to see what we're all about, wherever our fans come from. We do want to fill our stadium up with our guys. I know that we have a good draw for people from out of town. There you go.
Oh my God. Wait, who did that?
Hey, Mark, settle down a little bit.
No way. It's not.
But
Mark,
it's real.
settle down.
This is a real challenge for us.
Pete Carroll is
we're going to
funny.
go arm in arm, John and I, and we're going to put this thing together in a way that's going to make you proud. You all wondering about timelines and all that. It took us a few years to get to the very top of the last couple programs I was with. We're starting right now. Going for
was
it
that
immediately.
AP?
We don't have some timeline. We got to make it 5 or 6 years down the road. That's not what we're thinking. We're going to start right now to go after it and build this team as quickly as we can. As John saw Max back there, Max, send a message, man. We're coming after you. We're going to come find you guys and get this thing rolling as soon as possible, with the highest of expectations, with a mentality that will drive high performance in a way that hopefully everybody's going to hear us and they're going to know us. And so I'm really proud to take on that challenge. So thrilled to be here.
Awkward putting him on the
Thanks again
spot.
to Mark and Tom and guys. Thank you here. Away we go. Let's go. Raiders Nation, let's go, baby.
Wait, so is Brady there? I still haven't seen Brady.
With that, we'll start right over here with Paul. Ashley and Jade have microphones on either side. Please state your name and affiliation.
Paul Duquette is from ESPN.
They did a good job,
long
man.
time no see from back in LA. How does
Quit trying to act like you know him.
experience as a veteran coach mesh with John's vision as a first-time GM going
Oh,
forward?
man, I think it's a perfect mesh opportunity for us to show you how important it is for this relationship to be at the tip of the spear for our program. His background, his mentality, his devotion to character and football and the game and having respect for what it takes to make this thing strong and right, it has just hit me right in my heart. And so I'm thrilled about sharing the years and the experience with the energy and the juice that he brings, and so it's going to work out great.
Hi, this is Vic Tafer from The Athletic.
Nothing to really
Congratulations
say.
for both you guys. Is there any kind of history between you two guys going back? And what excites you about this partnership going forward, about having this pairing together?
Go ahead.
A little history in Super Bowl 48. I was working for the Broncos, and we got our faces caved in by the Legion of Boom in that. I told him when I first talked I was still sore from that, but I've been a big fan of his for a long time. The energy that his teams play with, the commitment to run the ball, play great defense, support the quarterback. I mean, we're going to do all those things here, and that all came through the first couple phone conversations I had. I mean, two people that I think are just have a love and respect and passion for the game, and although we've kind of grew up on different coasts, we see the game very similarly, and I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, I think our connection with the game of football and how much we love what this stands for and what it's all about, and has connected us like immediately. And so it's been seamless in the way we go. We've got a lot of difficult decisions to make, and you'll see us come together on our thoughts and all. But I with absolute conviction that we're gonna go take this together and take it on in a really great fashion.
Coach Carroll, Levi Edwards, Las Vegas Raiders. You talk about building a culture at USC and then bringing that over to the NFL.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a 2-year
rebuild.
rebuild.
Talk about building a culture, whether it's your players or your staff. What are some non-negotiables that you must see that are mandatory to build that culture in your eyes?
Yeah, well, the culture is the players, and you'll see that, but we'll show them the way. And it all starts with competition. I mean, you're either competing or you're not. And I'm going to make sure that that's really clear to these guys from the moment they get here. We're going to go out and draft a class, and there'll be a few free agents who maybe we'll be able to attract. And we'll need to see those guys, and we'll need to see what they're all about. But the competition part of it is theirs to command. If there's one thing that I want them to understand, and start the message right now, if you want to be on a great team, you need to be a great teammate. And so teaching what that's all about and instilling that in the makeup of our program is going to be crucial. And the central theme in the program is always going to be competition, and that's where it starts.
Question for both of you guys. You guys have both won Lombardies. This is Q Myers from Raider Nation Radio 920 right back here. You guys have both won Lombardies, one with different style of quarterbacks. But for you, what are non-negotiables that are you looking for your leader, your quarterbacks?
Oh, that's good.
I'd go back to that. I mean, I got a chance to be around, in my opinion, the greatest player ever. And it was a love of the game and a competitive desire that just didn't allow him to quit. He was never out of a fight. He was willing to do things that the ordinary football player or person wasn't willing to do. And, we're gonna turn over every stone to find that leader for this team too. There's just gonna be certain requirements of the job. And it doesn't necessarily take the strongest arm or the best thrower. It's the guys that will push their teammates to a place that's uncomfortable, that will give almost anything to win. That's what the best ones do, and we're going to find one of those.
Yeah, I would add to that it's our mission to build this football team up around the quarterback position. This isn't the only spot. We happen to have the greatest of all time to help us and to see clearly, and we're going to lean on Tom as much as we possibly can for his insights, because nobody has the insights that he has. He's that unique. But it's the quarterback position is one of the positions on the team, and we've got to make it all fit together well. I've had pretty good success with my quarterbacks in the past. You can go all the way back to college days, and they've all turned out to be really extraordinary members of our club. There's a way to embrace the challenge that the quarterback has from the rest of the football team as well. We need to support our guy.
So Brady's going to choose the QB,
to
basically.
make that work. It's really about making a great football team around the quarterback position. Coach Walsh taught me a long time ago that it's the hardest position in professional sports to play, and so we need to make it as easy for them as possible. And we'll go about doing that by running the football, protecting them, taking care of the ball, playing great defense, and kicking the football when we want to kick it. And
But he said he's going to lean on Brady to choose a QB.
There's a lot that goes into this, but to think about how fortunate we are to have Tom Brady with us.
Yeah.
It's just a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Adam Hill, Las Vegas Review-Journal, over here for Pete. You've accomplished everything.
Put your hand up so we can hear you. Thank you.
You've accomplished everything that you could accomplish in this business. Why is it that you wanted to seek a new challenge, and what is it about this challenge?
That's a good question.
It was never been about accomplishments. It's never been about that. It's about the game and loving it and playing. I really have realized again in this year, that when you get a year to take a step away from it, it's incredibly valuable. My last time I stepped away from it was the year after New England. I stayed out a year, and the next thing that happened is I went to USC. And to me personally, that the rest was history. It hasn't been about trying to win the championship games so that I can put that banner or that ring in my drawer. It's not about that. It's about competing. It's about being the best you can possibly be with what you have to work with, and taking on the challenges of it, and all of the that goes into making that happen for the players. It's getting the relationships with the players. It's building the mentality that everybody that comes to our program has a unique quality that makes them them. And I'm going to try to figure out what that is and find a way to bring that to the surface. And in doing so, you give everybody the chance to be as good as they can possibly be. That's what this is about to me. And so it hasn't been about.
I think he's going to do really well.
It's been about much more than that.
It's Tashawn Reed from The Athletic. Pete, when you were at the Seahawks, you also had the title of Vice President of Football Operations and final say on roster decisions. Is that a role you envision having similarly here?
Ooh, that's a good
question. Do you feel like you're going to defer?
We're sharing everything. We're collaborating to the nth degree. And we're going to do this. We're going to draw the best we possibly have out of each other to make every decision we can make as clear and as sound as possible. And we're going to be able to use our guys that are on top. The success stories of our ownership group is it's unmatchable, and so we're going to lean on those guys to help us when we need them, and they know they're part of this competition too.
Brady, man,
you're going to see
he's
us
going to make a lot of decisions. It sounds like,
and that's the way we did it before. You watch that. I mean, if you look at what happened over the 14 years, you wouldn't have known who was calling what, and that's the way I want it to be, and I know John's on board with that.
Case Kiefer, Las Vegas Sun. For Pete, you kind of mentioned or alluded to some of the similarities coming into this job. Is at USC and Seattle, a season or two of rough times, but you were able to get the team to respectability kind of right away there. What are some lessons from those first two seasons at your last couple stops that you learned you can put into here?
Yeah, the lessons that are really clear is that we have a philosophy and a way to do things.
Shit went downhill.
We believe in, and the sooner we can get to everybody understanding it and being on board with it, the sooner we'll move ahead and move forward. I'm not talking about just the football team. I'm talking about the people that are in the organization. I'm talking about the people that support us.
I'm excited too, Barstow.
Everybody that has an
I think this dude's going to work out.
All about.
I really do.
And
I think Pete Carroll will work out.
I think it takes everybody to make us as good as we can possibly be. And so it's that process that we'll go through that we've done before, that it's an exciting, challenging, kind of once of a lifetime opportunity again, and so we're going to take it on with a great energy about it.
Reese with the Raiders Spanish broadcast. Coach Carroll, we've all seen the videos of you throwing the football, catching the football, having fun out there with the players.
Is this about his age?
To keep that aspect, but at the same time keeping the structure and having the discipline to
what about your
be a winning
age?
team, but the fun, it seems like it's an aspect that's important for you.
To me, it's always been about playing catch. I love the game since I was a little kid, and I if I get a chance to go out and throw the ball around, I'm doing it. And so that's how you're going to see us. That's what I'll do first time on the practice field as we get going. It's my love for the game that goes all the way back to the basics of it. I don't do stuff like everybody else. And really, that's not my goal to try to match up how other people that have run this thing. And I've had, like John mentioned, extraordinary mentors through the process to get to where I am. But I'm not trying to do it like anybody else knows how to do it. I'm going to try to do it the way that comes right from the center of my heart and what I think is the most important aspects of it and how this thing works. And extend that mentality to the people that are in our organization, because we need to be on the same page. And so I need to do a really good job of teaching and a really good job of illustrating and being the image of what that looks like. And there's no end to that to me. And you either, like I said, you either compete or you're not. And I'm always
appreciate you.
So that's how we'll get it done in every way possible. To me, this game should be fun. If we're not having fun, I'm screwing it up. And we're going to have fun in this room right here with our team. They're going to grow in here. They're going to find out what we're all about, and they're going to understand what they're representing. And if I do a good job of teaching, and so that's what I'm bringing to it. And if you don't want to compete, you're in the wrong place. And our players will understand that early on. When we went to Seattle, we went through a lot of transactions, and it was to find the right people. John and I are in total concert of the kinds of people that are going to build this program. We're going to build this program around. And so there's a way to get to that, and we've been through this, and it's really exciting to have the opportunity to do it again. Why, you asked, okay, why would I want to do it again? That it's because it's that chase and that pursuit of the passion that we want to find. So.
Okay, I
Alex
like that.
Eshelman with Channel 13 Sports right here. Congratulations to the both of you. Coach Carroll, you've mentioned Tom Brady's name multiple times in this presser.
Have I done it too much?
No, not in my opinion, no. What has his influence been like for you both to want to be a part of this franchise, and what was his involvement like in the hiring process for the both of you?
Well, he's been integrally involved, wherever I know that the process could allow him to be in. We haven't seen him, he's not been here. He's got a big job. But he has been a really exciting part of it. Exciting to me because he's one of the great competitors that have ever lived. And so for me,
he
that's
just
a
loves
chance to
Brady.
understand more deeply what that's all about and where that comes from. And so, But this is his opportunity to put his stamp on a franchise, and so we're excited to represent that bringing him into it. Mark has done an incredible job to figure out how to formulate this plan so that we could all fit together, so he's been involved, and he's going to continue to be involved, and we're going to lean on him like crazy.
Pete Carroll and Tom Brady, dude.
Journal John, how do you begin the process now of building this roster? What's your first steps, and where do you go from today?
Where's our guy? Oh, there he is. Could you ask the question again? I was looking for you. I couldn't find it.
Yeah. To John, the process, where do you begin today after you leave here? Like, how do you build this roster from what you've seen in the past, or have you seen much of it?
Well, my job for the past 9 years has been to see the NFL, and it's in totality every year. So yes, I'm familiar with it. We obviously played the Raiders this year in Tampa Bay. My first order of business is going to begin with Coach here. We're going to talk more about the kind of player we want, what it looks like at every position, the kind of person we want. To me, it's vitally important. You're going to hear, I think both of us continue to talk about that. What does it mean to be a Raider? What are the qualities that we're going to stand for? What are the qualities that everybody that comes into this building is going to stand for? I take that very personally and very seriously as a responsibility of mine. It's like the scouts are in charge of finding
who's the quarterback,
the right kind of people to bring into an organization. There's no greater responsibility, I don't think, than that. We will be what our character kind of will be our fate, in a sense. And we're looking for first people that love football, that want to compete every day, or there just won't be a place for you here, and that's okay. We want it to be a hard team to make. We want it to be a hard job every day, but for those that are willing to step up to that challenge and be a part of that, there'll be a great reward at the end of it.
He was an assistant with the Buccaneers.
We know what it looks like.
Spytech.
So I'm less concerned about roster construction right now, and this position or this position. We've got some really good players in this building.
He brought
really
in
good,
AB.
and everybody knows that. They know who they are.
With the Bucks.
Our job is going to be to find more of them, but it's going to start with the person.
That sounds like Russell
Carpenter
Wilson.
from SI. John, when I covered you as an intern in the Detroit Lions, up in Bill Keenest's office with Matt and Sheldon, and you came in and they called you the whiz kid.
Don't try to
I
act
didn't know
like
that
he
till
knows
put
you.
that out there, a week ago, and all my friends found it. I was the whiz apparently for the past 20-something years.
Yeah, and still laughing with them today. I mean,
Yeah,
they talk about
no
you were
idea.
a phenomenal listener, and that's still what people say about you from Tampa Bay. So how much of being a successful executive is really pinned on being a good listener?
Oh, man. Great question.
I think it's a great question. I would start by, when I was in Detroit,
Was
I
he a
was in
good
operations,
listener?
and all I wanted to do was get into scouting. But it was my foot in the door. I mean, I bothered
He's such a good
everybody
listener.
that had any kind of computer where I could watch tape on it forever. And then I would just go there and listen and try to understand what they were looking for in players, what made them tick. You know, did they like speed? Did they like quickness? Did they like high character guys? Did they want to
Appreciate
take
you,
risks?
Josh.
I mean, to me, that's just kind of who I am as a person.
Appreciate you, Josh Hammond. Shout
I'm
out to you.
Infinitely curious. I'm open-minded. And I think if people just slow down sometimes and listen to the people around them, it's amazing how much you can learn. I tell my wife all the time, you know, the nature of a scout is to always be watching and observing. So I'm always watching and observing. I just watched my young son here tie his shoes for the last 10 minutes, but they're both tied now, so they look good. Good job, Tommy. I just, it's such a great quality. And, you know, people will tell you the truth in this business if you find the right people. And our job as scouts and where I've come up is to get to the root of who people are and decide whether or not we want to add them to our organization. I mean, that's ultimately what we're trying to do.
Can I add to that answer, Johnny? You okay with that?
Of course.
Yeah, being a great listener is a huge aspect of what I think is important in a great competitor. And it's why are you listening? Because you want to learn. You want to know. You want to hear. I'm hoping that we'll all sense that this is a relationship-based organization, and that means that we're going to build it around the people that are here. And you can't celebrate the people that are here if you don't listen to who they are and you don't watch and observe. And so I'm hoping this will be an outstanding characteristic of our program, because we don't have any time. We got to get going. And so, but we have to work at doing that. And it's proactively listening and proactively working at understanding who you're dealing with, so we can teach them really well because we know them. And so I love that question, Hondo. Thank you.
Carter Owen with the Las Vegas Raiders. You mentioned, Pete, you mentioned how time away from coaching can be valuable. Did you learn anything about yourself or the role as a head coach in this past year that you think can be beneficial as you get started here with this new opportunity?
Hey, I would be competing if I wasn't learning. You know, I mean, that's the whole point. You got to keep on, stay curious.
Well, no shit,
and
he
make sure
learns
that
some
you're
stuff. He ain't
always
gonna
on
say what it is,
the
though.
next opportunity to be a little bit better. I had an incredible year. I got to watch JV football in high school. My grandson playing quarterback, then he played on the varsity team as well. I watched all those games. My son was coaching at the U up in Seattle. He's offensive coordinator there. Got to watch all of their games. Watched everything I could watch in the league. Watched my other son and all of my guys coaching, Danny Quinn and David Canales and guys around the league that have been with me. It's been a year full of
Dave Canales.
just input. And so as the last time I had a year that I stepped away from it, and it was extraordinarily life-changing for me, this year I feel has been the same. The extraordinary opportunity to see things uniquely when you're not coaching ball, you don't get that observation opportunity. You just can't, because you're so immersed in what you're doing. It was
That's a good point.
extremely valuable. So I can't wait for all of the things that I see that I want to do differently than what we've done in the past, and I think they're improvements, or I wouldn't be thinking that.
Yeah, somebody should ask about Harbaugh.
It's been an amazing journey to get to this moment right here, and so I'm really fired up about taking advantage of that year.
Somebody needs to ask about age and Harbaugh.
Pete, Sean Zattel, Vegas Sports Today. Right on.
With a tough division.
You know, you're set to make history as the oldest tenured coach in NFL history. I know you mentioned you don't really do this for accomplishments, but you have accomplished everything. So what makes you still want to coach at this age and also believe that you can still do it at a high level at an age no one's been able to do it in the NFL before?
Yeah, well, first off, I'm not real proud of wearing this number 73 on my back, you know, but that's not what fires me up. But it isn't about accomplishing things to say you were worthy. You know, it's what you got to do next that counts. You know, what's the next thing up? And so I laid low during this football season, and I'm teaching a class at USC that's been a thrill. I've not been one step away from what we're doing and at any time and what we're up against here. I'm just so grateful that have been given the opportunity to do this again and to find it. Because to me, it's
Kind of
the
dodging the
very
question.
next step that we get to take that fires me up. It's the very next challenge. It's coming back, or it's overcoming, or it's celebrating the
Pete Carroll's
success
got
that
to
you
do an
just had
interview on
in
the
making
show.
yourself come back to basics and continue to be uncommonly consistent. That drives me, So the stuff that you guys have heard, about Pete and having fun, like you mentioned about throwing the ball around, all that. Yeah, that's part of it. That's part of it. But it's about the competing and proving that you have value and you have worth and you can add to it. I don't care how old you are. And for anybody out there that's old and wants to know how you do it, you freaking battle every day and you compete and you find your way to get better. And everybody needs to be coached up, and that's what's been happening for me. And I would like to extend that thought to anybody that wants to hear it, because we can get better and we can do more things that are of value, and we can love our families more and our people around us. I mean, all of that stuff. So obviously I'm freaking jacked up. So that shouldn't surprise you, but
go ahead, Zeke.
All right. Good morning, guys. Congratulations.
Doesn't
John,
like
you
that
mentioned
question.
a lot of different people that you came across along the way that have helped you out. What was the biggest lesson that you've learned that might have helped you or that may help you with this position?
It's about the people you surround yourself with.
I keep asking the same question.
When you're dealing with an
What's the
organization
lesson you
like
learned?
this, it's everybody from, it's literally the entire organization. I think people focus on the players all the time, and I've already told you guys how much I value and respect and honor the players. I mean, it's what they're all about. But I don't think we'll only be as good as the people that we bring into this organization or keep in this organization. I think there's a lot of probably great people here that I just haven't met yet, and I can't wait to meet them. I went to Cleveland in 2010, and they hadn't had a lot of success. And
Don't start hating on
found
Cleveland.
a scouting department that was just looking for a little bit of energy and excitement, and we provided that. Now, we didn't win enough games there, which is what this is about. But there's a lot of great people there, and they worked their asses off to find good players. And almost all those guys are still in the league right now.
They had a
because
fat
they're
ass.
good people. They just needed an extra chance. And so I just learned that a long time ago. I mean, Andy Reid, John Harbaugh, Spags. I mean, the staff that I started with, Sean McDermott, we were good in Philly because we had a lot of great people there that loved football. And that's what we're going to try to do here. If you love football, there'll be a place for you.
All right, we're going to wrap it up.
Who's
with,
the
Levi,
who's the
Mark
offensive
Anderson, and then
coordinator?
Deshaun.
John,
raise your hand. There you go.
you've been around a lot of great football minds, from a front office and coaching, aspect within your career. When you see Pete Carroll from afar and what he's accomplished, what are some things in this role that you're looking to learn or gain from him in terms of insight or things that you feel like you can take away from him as a GM?
Things that you got to get away from him as a GM.
I wait to see what compete for Pete looks like every day. I think I got a pretty good feel for it so far. But just the energy and the passion that he presents with every day has been something that I've been drawn to over the past, it feels like we were talking on the way here, like it feels like it's been 10 days, but I think it's only been like 3
a few days.
since we first started talking.
So they don't know each other
just
that
the way
well.
he leads a program. I mean, everywhere he's been, he's won. I mean, I go back, I can remember vividly watching those USC teams. I mean, they were some of the most fun football teams
Reggie
I've ever
Bush.
watched. And I think I admired them a lot because, yes, they were full of talent. And our
Matt
job is to
Leinart.
find a lot of talent here. But they were full of competitors and guys that love football. And I'm sorry if we're ad nauseum talking about love football, but that's to me what this is about. You got to love this. And I can't wait to learn from him. I mean, he's a wealth of knowledge.
I can't wait to see the
He's
roster.
crushing this press conference. He's got people excited. And I've just been a fan for so long. And to get a chance to sit up here alongside of him today and now work alongside of him is an honor. And I'm just fired up.
Okay, go on. That's all right.
Pete,
They keep complimenting each other and
Mark
Tom
Anderson,
Brady.
AP. What are your thoughts on putting together your staff?
Say that again, please.
What are your thoughts on putting together your staff?
Yeah, well, we're in the midst of getting started. I mean, like John and I, we're just getting started at it.
We wanna know the
However,
coordinator,
we have been
bro.
talking to some people, and we're going to try to put this thing together. I'm really looking for people that have been with me, that understand the philosophy to some extent. I want guys that have never been around me before so that they have to learn what we're all about, and we can watch the process of them learning who we're all about.
I think Shane
what
Waldron.
we expect. And then I'm hoping that we can maintain some of the terrific coaches that are on the staff too. So we can have the benefit of the insights that they bring and the continuity that they can generate for us. So
Probably
it's a
wants Patrick
combination of
Graham.
people that we're looking for. But it's all going to fall back into the same theme. We want ball people. We want guys that love the game. And I mean, that's obviously, if nothing else, we've hammered that home today, Johnny. So
Patrick Graham
we want to make sure
and
that we do
Shane
that.
Waldron is my
Also,
guess.
it's important to find people that can help us grow, and challenge us. And those also, I know in my history, I need people to keep me on track. As you can tell, I get pretty juiced up and I'm going to get going. I need people to keep me balanced. That's why Glenn has been so important over the years to keep me rolling. But so it'll be a combination to get that done if we do it well. And it's out there for us. And we've got a lot of people that are really interested. We got to do a great
Man, I just want the offseason to start already. I'm so stoked.
John, a question for you. You've been a part of successful teams that have won Super Bowls, and it's been a mix of homegrown talent as well as players that you got through free agency or trades. How do you plan on straddling that balance between every GM wants to build through the draft, but also taking some swings in free agency and trades?
Trade for DK Metcalf.
Yeah, it's a great question. I don't think there's any perfect way to do it. For us in Tampa recently, it was definitely draft and develop. I think at the start of the season, 44 of the players that made the initial 53 were drafted or signed by us as undrafted free agents. I think all but 2 starters were. But at the end of the day, we're gonna look anywhere we can to find a good football player. I don't care if it's at Michigan, Ohio State. It pains me to say Ohio State, but I'm gonna have to respect them.
Angel of Anarchy,
But
appreciate you, bro.
Our job is to
Becoming a
be
member.
so open-minded where we will literally go anywhere in the country,
Appreciate you.
anywhere in Canada to find a good football player. And
Canada.
I always admired the way that they started in Seattle at the quarterback position in particular. They just kept taking shots and shots and shots. They traded, they drafted guys high. They find their way to Russell. I mean, what an unbelievable move that was. He was a little bit different. He was under 6 feet at a time where most quarterbacks were over 6 feet, so willing to think outside the box a little bit.
Unlimited.
And these are things that I've learned throughout my career. And so, yes, we want to draft and develop because it's the best way to build a solid foundation of a team and then to reward those players with second contracts because we know exactly what we're doing. But if the opportunity comes to sign a Tom Brady or a Baker Mayfield or trade for a Jason Pierre-Paul or Rob Gronkowski, just examples of my career, we will absolutely do that when the team is ready and the organization is ready for that.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. That'll conclude our press conference. The media, we'd like you to share a meal with us in the meal room right behind the doors there. And thank you, everyone, for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
And is that a wrap, everybody? Is that a wrap? Okay, man. Pete Carroll's first press conference as the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, along with Spytek. That was some interesting stuff, man. I was surprised that Pete Carroll had such a great sense of humor. I didn't know if that would come out immediately in the first press conference, but he was right away making some jokes. You saw when Spytek was talking about a coach that he revered in his past, how he was 75, and then Pete Carroll made the joke, "Why are you looking in my direction when you say 75?" So he had a good sense of humor there. A couple comments, didn't really address the age concern, and another concern, which is, Jerry Jones tearing up, talking about his ability to find coaches. He didn't really talk about the, his age concern. He kind of just brushed that to the side, and I mean that makes sense. That makes sense. What is he really going to say about that? He kind of put it to the side and just said, "Hey, I'm excited to coach again. I want to compete again. I want to do that. I'm not trying to necessarily have any lofty aspirations." Ladarian Carr, I'm a Panthers fan, but I enjoy your channel. Just want to say I mutually agree. Just want to say his son just mutually agreed to leave the Panthers coaching staff. Might be an OC for you guys. So Pete Carroll's son was on the Panthers coaching staff. Appreciate you, Ladarian Carr, man. Maybe I got to make some Panthers videos. Now, I didn't know I had some Panthers fans watching. I think I've only made a couple. You know what? We got to make some Panthers. We'll make some Panthers content in the offseason. We'll do a couple Panthers videos. I didn't know I had Panthers fans. So we've been doing more shit, all kinds of different teams and whatnot. But appreciate you, Ladarian Carr. So Pete Carroll's son, Nate Carroll, shout out to Ladarian Carr, letting us know about Nate Carroll, who could maybe be the offensive coordinator of the Raiders. So good point by Ladarian Carr in the chat, who sent some love, man, supporting the show. Appreciate you. But Nathan Carroll had his first season with the Panthers as the pass game coordinator. You heard Pete Carroll shout out Dave Canales, the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. They have a relationship there. And this guy was a senior offense assistant. He's the son of Pete Carroll and has literally been around the Seahawks coaching staff with daddy. Maybe he'll be the dude. And when we're talking about a succession plan, like who's going to take over if Pete Carroll wants to retire? Nathan Carroll, could he be the guy? Is he going to take over? This dude is 37. This dude is pretty young. Personal assistant on the Seahawks. Offensive assistant for the longest time. Wow. All right. Well, there you have it. Let me see if we have a. I'll see if we have any updates. But Nathan Carroll, that could be something to look out for. You heard talk about, being asked about the roster, quarterback decisions, and they didn't give up their hand too much. I did find it interesting that Pete Carroll compared joining the Raiders now. He compared it to when he first joined USC as their head coach with the USC Trojans, and he also compared it to when he first joined the Seahawks. And he said some comment about getting things going in a few years. And it almost made it sound like, okay, he's looking at the Raiders as sort of like a 2-year thing to get back on track, similar to when he took over, Seattle and USC. So definitely not looking at this as, obviously when you don't have a quarterback as a roster that you can just retool real quick and sort of make the playoffs. But Marshawn Lynch apparently was the person who yelled Raiders. So Marshawn Lynch was at the press conference. I did not know that. So, wait, so Marshawn Lynch was there? I want to see, is there a picture of him there? Oh, here we go. Marshawn Lynch was there at the presser.
I'm ready for this job because she's harder on me at home than anybody else is when it comes to football.
Oh, wow. So Money Lynch was there.
Surgery right now, a hip replacement, so we can get.
All right, let's see if we can find some other people. So looking at here, there's Crosby, obviously. And so just Crosby and Marshawn Lynch. Those are the only players I recognize there. But Marshawn hanging out. All right. Beast mode. His former head coach, former team.
Actually getting hip surgery right now, a hip replacement, so we can get back.
And there's no way that Jerry Jones teared up.
Pup. So I've seen it when I was a pup.
The hell?
I have a good background in the makeup of what a coach is. To think that you could make a decision in an interview and not have talked, if you didn't and hadn't ever communicated or had a visit, I wouldn't dare have had an interview unless I talked to many, many people. So
I don't understand how he was getting that emotional, but Marshawn Lynch was there. Let me see if we got some more. Oh, wow. So Aaron Glenn did his presser too.
Challenges. But with challenges becomes opportunity, gets opportunity. But here's what I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this.
What?
Put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. Listen, there are going to be some challenges. No, we're built for this.
So he's cussing at the presser.
Put your seatbelts on.
What?
Get ready for the ride.
So he wanted a different style than Pete Carroll.
Get ready for the ride. Listen, there are going to be some challenges. But with challenges becomes
We built for this shit. Okay, so we didn't have that. Pete Carroll was a little more chill. Shout out to freaking Tedford Von Patriot. Sorry, I fell asleep listening to Biden's plan to make the Raiders great again. The only way the Raiders get good again is when Bullcut sells this dumpster fire, which he won't do. The Weasel Al Davis is mad. Hey, what do you guys think, man? Tedford Von Patriot's coming in hot, calling Pete Carroll Joe Biden. is Pete Carroll. I mean, he's not that bad. I mean, he had more energy than Joe Biden. You got to give him credit there. But you know, it could be like 2019 Biden, where he seemed fine, and then things kind of took a turn. So hopefully Pete Carroll stays safe. Appreciate Ted for Von Patriot. Hopefully Pete Carroll does stay safe though, but maybe his son Nathan Carroll is going to take over anyway, so it's not going to be that big of a deal, right? I do feel like he's not going to be here 3 years. There's no way. There's no way it's 3 years. Oh, so that was Marshawn.
I know that we have a good draw for people from out of town. There you go. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Mark, settle down a little bit.
That was good. When he said, "Hey, Mark, settle down a little bit," that was a good one. Like that was Mark Davis. That was one of my favorite moments. You know, dude, the dude had really good stage presence. I mean, I know that doesn't matter too much. You could be super awkward and be a genius coach, right? There's some of those people. You never hear about Andy Reid's viral presser moments, right? But Pete Carroll does have a way of making you feel good and positive about the team, and so did Spytek. I thought Spytek was a pretty good speaker. I'd never really listened to him before. I didn't know how good of a speaker he's going to be. Dude had confidence. Definitely had a little sense of humor too, as well, kind of matching Pete Carroll's energy. And they do, like, you know what? They express confidence, but then they also sounded realistic. You know, comparing the moment to USC and Seattle when he first joined, basically saying this is probably going to take a couple of years. So I like that, kind of being realistic rather than being like, oh, you know, we got the opportunity to come up now, man. Rather than saying you got the recipe to beat the Chiefs, you know. You know what I mean? No, I'm just kidding. So Max Crosby and Pete Carroll. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. So Max Crosby chopping it up with Pete Carroll here. There you go. Good relationship there. Maybe Crosby, Pete Carroll's enough to keep Crosby. He's making him laugh. Hopefully, dude, hopefully that's the right hire, because Crosby was basically saying, you know, in some of those presser clips recently, that he wants the Raiders to be competitive. They got to have a talk, especially if they don't get the right coach. Hopefully Pete Carroll's enough to keep him. And this is how the modern NFL is nowadays, man. These players are able to hold out really if they want to. They are able to force a trade. They have that leverage and power. You ultimately don't want somebody on your team who doesn't want to be there. So hopefully Max Crosby's satisfied with the hire of Pete Carroll there. So no news on coordinators yet for the Raiders.
He's like 75 years old. He can't get
this was the good moment. The 73. This was the funny moment.
He's still coaching to this day. He's like 75 years old. He can't give it up and win state championships all the time. So, Coach, I hope you're out there watching somewhere. I love you. Thanks for.
Why are you looking at me?
Just a guy that loves football, just like you.
That was Pete Carroll's first laugh during the presser, like the first laugh that he got from the audience, and I was like, all right, dude. So it's not like we're going back to somebody who's super awkward. So we had Josh McDaniels, who was super awkward. We had Antonio Pierce, who's really good at pressers and talking to the media. Give Pierce credit, man. He knew how to kind of give those speeches, and a lot of fans like that and thought he had a good sense of humor at the presser too. And so we're wondering, is Pete Carroll going to be reverting back to the awkward Josh McDaniels thing? No, Pete Carroll does seem, like he also has the good sense of humor as well. I'm trying to see if we got any more celebrity sightings here, but we don't. Just browsing some of the reporters. You got Paul Gutierrez of ESPN taking some pictures there. The Mark Davis, Pete Carroll Spytek picture. There's the classic picture. Oh, wow. Okay. So that's it. So not too much. If anything else pops up, maybe there'll be some more clips. Obviously, we have the conversation of Crosby and Pete Carroll. Jets had their presser at the same time. Mark Davis didn't really speak to the media, right? He just came up and introduced. He didn't say anything. But now you have some quotes by him. Maybe there'll be a video interview of Mark Davis off to the side afterwards. Pete was the clear choice as soon as Ben Johnson took the Bears job. So they were always going to go Ben Johnson if he's not down, Pete Carroll. So they were always going to go Pete Carroll because everybody knew Ben Johnson. Who's really in the know? They probably all knew Ben Johnson was definitely taking the Bears job just because of Caleb Williams. We're built for this shit. See, Pete Carroll didn't have to do that. Pete Carroll was able to have a sense of humor without cursing. I kind of like that. I like the family-friendly comedy of Pete Carroll.
It made me a Niners fan when we were going to Keys.
He is from San Francisco, though, so he does have that Bay Area experience with the Raiders. He's born in San Francisco. And then he got his first, he went to Pacific. He played there, University of Pacific. I believe that's in Stockton. So he's really a California guy. California, Pac Northwest, and Vegas. Honestly, I'm a West Coaster. A lot of people do that. California, Oregon or Seattle, and then Vegas. That's like the most popular of West Coast, right? California's big as hell, so obviously. But what did you guys think? I mean, optimism. How many wins does Pete Carroll make you feel like the Raiders are going to have? For sure. If you had to guess right now, over how many wins? I'm very confident after that first press conference. Look, I'm not the guy where I'm going to instantly say we're making the playoffs. You know, I cool it. I've learned as a Raiders fan to cool my expectations. But he really did make me feel like 7+ wins. I do believe the Raiders will win 7+ games, and I think that's a positive for right now, especially without having the quarterback situation. I would take that. If he got 7 wins in year one, we're figuring out the quarterback situation. We're trying to find some young talent on like multi-year deals. I would consider that success. 7+ wins. Any more than that is going above expectations, in my opinion. And based on how they're talking, it does sound like it's a 2-year thing. Like this year and then next year, we're going to be a playoff team. So we got people saying 5 wins, 8, 10, 9, 7, need a QB, Super Bowl, 7, 10. So a lot of people a little more optimistic, but still pretty realistic when you say 8, because 8's not enough to make the playoffs. That just means you're a good team that could have made the playoffs, kind of like the Bengals. Dude, if we could be like the Bengals... Whew. I did find it interesting that when he was asked about the quarterback position, he said that he wants to, it's all about building around the QB. So there is the possibility that in year one, we don't even grab the right QB, but we're just making the roster better. So when it comes to the draft, maybe at pick 6, we'll go back to best player available, the Raiders, rather than choosing a quarterback who could fall there if Shador or Cam Ward falls to 6. Maybe instead the Raiders say, you know what? We're going to go ahead and go BPA. BPA again. Let me see if we got some more Pete Carroll and nuggets. So another quote by Mark Davis. When it comes to Pete Carroll's comment that the Raiders plan to go for it immediately, Davis made it clear that he'll be patient when it comes to getting positive results. Jokes that he doesn't want to look for a new regime to become an annual thing. Oh, Mark Davis. Mark Davis is self-aware. At least Mark Davis is self-aware. Doesn't want looking for a new regime to become just a yearly thing. You know, there's Christmas happens every year. Valentine's Day happens every year. Thanksgiving happens once a year. And once a year, the Raiders bring in a new regime. At least Mark Davis knows that this is getting ridiculous at this point. And it's not all his fault. I mean, the NFL did get rid of John Gruden. That was against his wishes. But, yeah, man. We should have hired Pete Carroll last year then, if this was the plan. He technically was available. We could have grabbed him. He still wanted to coach. Should have grabbed Pete. But maybe it was good that he took a year off. So he gave a shout out to Crosby. So we'll lean on Tom Brady as much as possible for the QB. Yeah. He basically said Brady will choose the next QB, which I thought was kind of interesting. Lions have to get their new coaching staff. Ooh, so the Steelers owner was asked about Russell Wilson. Preferences to re-sign Russell or Justin Fields. So you're not committing to one. You're saying or. Pete Carroll, baby. QB is a key piece. It's unlikely that both of them will be re-signed. So either Justin Fields or Russell Wilson will be available. I think you got to go for one of those guys for sure. If you're the Raiders, you got to look at Russell or Justin Fields, whichever one's available. If Russ is available, you got to take a shot at it, in my opinion. It's going to be, you don't want to be like how you were last year where we went with Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell thought, or this is what these people think. Oh, Russell's washed. Well, Russell washed, whatever the hell that is. That's way better than what the Raiders have had at QB since Derek Carr left. So Russ washed is way better than Aiden O'Connell, way better than the Jimmy Garoppolo, the Gardner Minshew. So at this point, you just want to at least get that, so you at least have that this year. And like Pete Carroll said, you got to build around the QB anyways. They want to run the ball. So I would take that. Oh, so we have. This press conference is going to be released by somebody with Mark Davis. Mark Davis knows how to not answer questions, but everybody's swarming Mark Davis right now. We'll see who's got a video. This looks like the Raiders media team. Are they going to put out a Mark Davis video thing? No, there's no Mark Davis video. Huh. Okay, we'll see what's up. They're still live, kind of. We'll see if I find some stuff. No other players besides Crosby. I'm looking around. I just saw another picture. No other players. Oh, here we go. Mark Davis.
Ben Johnson.
About Ben Johnson.
No, we didn't think we had Ben Johnson. We never made an offer to Ben Johnson. And he's a Chicago Bear. No, we didn't think we had Ben Johnson. We never made an offer to Ben Johnson. And he's a Chicago Bear.
They never made an offer to Ben Johnson. Okay, Mark Davis coming in. Trying to say, hey, we weren't that desperate. We weren't begging for Ben. But it sounds like they probably did, want Ben Johnson to be the Raiders coach. I mean, clearly they interviewed the guy, and then they interviewed Carroll. Waited to hire Carroll once Ben Johnson got hired by Chicago. You know what I mean? So you could say that, but okay, we'll see. Okay, we're gonna turn to the Mark Davis interview once we get the full video. More videos are coming out. You had Logan Reaver post a video of it. Ooh, so he had a quote. Mark Davis, he said it was tough moving on from Antonio Pierce because the team never quit. So he gave Antonio Pierce some credit. But there's more to the job than drafting well in that. Interesting. I mean, it really just seemed like they never gave Telesco or Antonio Pierce a shot. They didn't spend any money on the roster, really, besides Christian Wilkins. Pete Carroll, by the way, I like that he has a woman's name. I have an Aunt Carroll, so Pete Carroll named after the aunt. I like that. Shout out to Shima86, man. Can I throw the pigskin farther than Pete? Oh, hell yeah, dude, of course. I can throw the pigskin further than Pete. Let me see if we get the Mark Davis, though. We're loading up. There were some questionable things, dude, for the officiating in the game, but I don't think the Bills had the excuse as like officiating is why they lost. So we have Davis with Pete Carroll here. No video yet though. Dude, is Pete Carroll older than Mark Davis? So Pete Carroll's 73 and Mark Davis is 69. So Pete Carroll is older than Mark Davis. Mark Davis is 69. Pete Carroll is 73. Wow. The freaking coach is older than the owner. Looking for, we got, oh, here we go. Here we go. Pete Carroll walking in. Okay. Here we go, man. This is what we got. We better do something. Spytech. Yeah, Spytech sounds like some like body cam software. me and Audrey were joking about that. It's Spytech's name. It sounds like some body cam software, some security company. And then Pete Carroll sounds like a diner. Carroll's. Remember that restaurant, Carroll's? You guys ever eat there? So no Mark Davis. Looking around for that. I know there's always the same videos of the new coach walking in. 3 coaches in 3 years, baby. Raider Nation. That's how we roll, bro.
Out of town.
Pete Carroll.
There you go. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Mark, settle down a little bit.
Dude, he was like, I killed it right there. He was stoked. So where? Oh yeah, Mark Davis is right here. Okay, Mark Davis is right here. No Tom Brady. No Tom Brady. Dun 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 dun. Let me see if they still got if they're gonna go to like a Mark Davis presser after. No? Okay. No Mark Davis presser after. Well, hey, he went with the quarter zip. He didn't go with the suit. Good choice. Yeah, Sandra Douglas Morgan, she's still there. We got some continuity there. Senior Bowl is coming up. And we got the Super Bowl, man. Eagles versus Chiefs rematch. Kind of saw that coming after the Lions were done. Let me see if we got some more stuff on the Raiders. Got Aaron Rodgers and the Aaron Glenn thing happening. A lot of momentum building here. And then we got free agency obviously coming around the corner. But monumental day. I think the thing that we got to look forward to now is who's the offensive coordinator. That's going to be a domino to fall. Do we keep Patrick Graham at defensive coordinator? Then after that, we're on to free agency. And, those top 30 interviews for the draft. But other than that, we're going to have to just hope Pete Carroll with John Spytech got the right relationship. Hopefully Brady's going to choose the QB based on what they're saying here. Hopefully that's the right call. I don't necessarily know, just because you're good at QB, does that mean that you are going to be talented when it comes to evaluating a QB?
It really might be. Pete back. His best player is his tight end, who's the best tight end in football. His star DN guy kind of shut it down for an injury. Was like, and I'm sure they're like.
All right, so some motivation for Pete Carroll. A lot of people are. It's still a good hire. Still a good hire, even if it's not all gravy in the first year. It just really, he's a defensive-minded coach. So I really wonder what we're going to do when it comes to coordinator, offensive coordinator. And a lot of people have been hired already by other teams. To me, that's a big deal. 3-peat with coaches, exactly. We 3-peating with coaches, baby. Hopefully we don't 4-peat. Yeah, I like his stories. I like how he did a whole story of growing up, becoming a Niners fan and stuff like that. I like that he went that route. He seems like he's a good speaker. I mean, it's going to be interesting, the post-game press conferences, obviously. I think the next time they're going to do presser is probably going to be around the combine, right? When they all visit. So February is probably going to be the next press conference. Next time we hear from Pete Carroll, unless he does one of those sit-down interviews, which he might do with the Raiders channel. Or is he going to go do media with another TV show? We saw Ben Johnson go on the Colin Cowherd show and do an interview after he was hired by the Bears. So maybe Pete Carroll's going to do something like that, go on NBC, Fox, or ESPN or anything like that. Or maybe he'll come on a Wi-Fi Willie live stream. Maybe we'll get Pete Carroll on here and do an interview, a fun interview. If I interview him, we need diet tips, exercise tips, how to keep the full head of hair. We need a full health breakdown if he comes on this show. We'll talk about the Raiders in a little bit, but we need a full health longevity breakdown by Pete Carroll. He needs to keep Raider Nation, he needs to give them his elixir for life or whatever. Oh, yeah, maybe he'll go on Max Crosby's podcast. Antonio Pierce did it last time, so I could see Pete Carroll doing Max Crosby's podcast, The Rush. I could see that. He'll probably do that. If he doesn't do it, that's how you know that Max Crosby is going to be traded. If Pete Carroll doesn't go on The Rush, that's how we're going to know. All right, so I'm going to freaking buzz out of here because it doesn't look like we're going to have the full Mark Davis interview anytime soon. I was looking around for that, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Now the New Orleans Saints are the only head coaching vacancy in the entire NFL. Who knows what they're going to do there? And Pete Carroll, official with the Raiders. Oh, okay. We actually do have some Mark Davis stuff. Let's go ahead and check it out. Vegas Sports Today is there saying that Mark Davis on bringing in Pete Carroll.
Pete, I've watched Pete for a number of years. I watched him at USC. And where I really watched him was when he was in Seattle and competing with the 49ers. And the Niners were the bully on the block. And Seattle actually was one of the teams that figured out how to beat him and beat him pretty damn good. So I was impressed with Pete's, again, he brings up the word competitiveness. And I think that shows throughout his career. And he's a football guy. He loves football. And he wanted to be a Raider.
How have you changed over your process of as a learner?
Well, every day you learn. Just try to learn from things, and that's what you do.
Did you think you...
All right, so that's a decent reason. He liked the fact that Pete Carroll was able to compete with the Niners when the Niners are considered the favorite. That's a good answer and a good solid, kind of like a concrete detail where it wasn't a BS answer. So that was a pretty good little answer by Mark Davis. Maybe he had that one prepared. That was a good remark on why he wanted to bring Pete Carroll in. So we're kind of dealing with, like, the AFC West is kind of like how the NFC West was back then when the Niners were the juggernaut. We have the Chiefs of the juggernaut. Maybe Pete Carroll could do the same thing he did there, this time in the AFC West. Okay, so you got Liam Cohen, the new Jags coach, arriving to the facility as well. Controversy surrounding the games. We have another Chiefs Super Bowl. You kidding me, man? Are you kidding me? How? Pete Carroll arriving. All right, nothing more from Pete. Nothing more there, but we had a little. At least we had that little Mark Davis clip. Dude, if John Gruden's going anywhere, if the Saints don't hire Kellen Moore or Mike McCarthy, how do they not hire John Gruden? That's what I keep thinking, right? To me, like, am I just tripping, or it just seems like with the Saints they don't have their head coach yet? So is John Gruden going to be the? I don't think that would be crazy. Like, what's the holdup on them announcing the coach? It'd be a big drama controversy if you announce Gruden as the coach. Like, are they waiting to do it? Yeah, there's some weird stuff going on, dude. I was thinking about that where I'm like, So he was almost your offensive coordinator. You know the guy, and you haven't announced a coach yet, and all the people that you're interviewing don't seem that good, and we haven't heard it. And by the way, because he's not under contract by a team, they could have interviewed him, and there's no way that we would all know. That's some weird shit about the Gruden Saints shit, and a lot of people don't talk about that. Somebody reminded me about that the other day. Because he's not a part of a team, he's a true free agent. Like they could interview him, and there's no way. Like they don't have to announce it to Ian Rappaport. They don't have to tell anybody, list it anywhere. They could be interviewing, and there's nothing that we could know about it. So it's pretty crazy. It's crazy. So hopefully it happens. We'll see what happens. I mean, that'd be interesting. So Pete Carroll and the Raiders are going to be dope. We want football to be more interesting, though. Hopefully, the Eagles beat the Chiefs, but I have a feeling the Chiefs are going to three-peat. I think that's what's going to happen. So Raiders are interviewing already for D coordinator. So they're interviewing Carl Scott. He's a DB coach with the Seahawks. And they're also interviewing Rob Leonard. So D coordinator search already underway for the Raiders here. Okay. What? Rich Bisaccia getting an extension with the Packers, and then Luke Getsy joining the Packers as a assistant. Senior offensive assistant. Ooh. I get some acid reflux. I need to get some Japanese food, man. I need to get some food and chillax today. Maybe I got to watch, I might watch some Seahawks games. When was the last time Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll played together? It'd be 2021, right? Russell Wilson. Let's check it out. When was the last time they had a game together? Let's see. So, yeah, because 2022 is when he joined the Broncos. So, yeah, the 2021 season. But then he got injured. So was he available every game? Oh, Russell Wilson's last game as quarterback for the Seahawks before he was traded. So last game with Pete Carroll was against the Cardinals on January 9th, technically 2022, but for the 2021 season. So that would be a cool game to watch. Seahawks versus Cardinals 2021, the final game of the year. Tedford Von Patriot, all the other teams' trash is the Raiders' treasure. Oh, shit. What do you guys think? Is he right? Are the Raiders happy with the Seahawks leftovers? First we were doing Patriots leftovers. And now Seahawks. I think it won't be too bad unless we start getting some Seahawks players. I think if we start getting Bobby Wagner, if the Commanders move on from him, if we start getting all these Seahawks cast off, Lockett, because Lockett's no longer the best receiver for Seattle now, the speedy guy. He's no longer speedy since he's getting older. Then we'll end up being dumpster divers, Seattle dumpster divers in Vegas. But until then, they could be fine. Maybe he utilizes the existing roster. It does sound like a rebuild-esque.
The very top of the last couple programs I was with, we're starting right now, going for it immediately. We don't have some timeline. We got to make it 5 or 6 years down the road. That's not what we're thinking. We're going to start right now to go after it and build this team as quickly as we can. As John saw Max back there, Max, send the message, man. We're coming after you. We're going to come find you guys and get this thing rolling as soon as possible with the highest of expectations, with a mentality that will drive high performance in a way that hopefully everybody's going to hear us and they're going to know us. And so I'm really proud to take on that challenge. So,
do you think Max Crosby believes it? He has the arms crossed. Does that mean he believes it, or does that mean no? Arms crossed, is that negative energy? Arms crossed negative. That's what the comedian Brody Stevens, remember him? He says arms crossed negative. Is there like a free agency NFL simulator type of thing? There's a salary cap simulator. Because I was wondering if we could do what the Raiders, what we believe the Raiders will do. So we got $92 million in cap space for 2025. Whoa. So we have a shitload. Okay, and we probably are going to re-sign Trayvon Merrick here. So you would have to extend him. Whew. Okay, yeah. I don't know how to do all this, but wow, we do have a lot of cap space. Well, who are the free agents? Oh, yes, Stephon Diggs is going to be a free agent. I forgot. He got injured last year with the Houston Texans, but the way his contract was is it was a one-year deal, and then they have an out. So T. Higgins, Stephon Diggs, Hargrave of the Niners, Keenan Allen will be released likely, Amari Cooper. Dude, bring Amari Cooper, bring Khalil Mack. I don't care about age. Let's just do it. So QBs. I don't know why Russell Wilson's not on here, but he's supposed to be on here. Oh yeah, there he is. Russell Wilson. Okay. So Darnold. QBs, it's pretty much Russell Wilson's pretty much the best one. Darnold, Justin Fields, and then who else could we possibly get that's gonna be a free agent? No, I do not want Mac Jones or Jameis Winston. Sorry, I'm cool off that. And then other than that, it really is just Russell. Tyler Huntley, I always felt like Tyler Huntley could do something, but it just never works out. Maybe if he had a full offseason, I would take a chance on Tyler Huntley, though, if you had no other option. If you didn't have Russell Wilson or Justin Fields, then I would try Tyler Huntley in terms of the QBs available. We're not going to do Tommy DeVito. If it happens, it will be funny. It will be a good story. We could make some good jokes, but I hope we don't go for Tommy DeVito. Daniel Jones. I mean, the guy's athletic. Give Danny Dimes another shot in Vegas. That's an interesting one for quarterback. So Danny Jones, Russell, Fields, and we're not bringing Jimmy G back. And then other than that, maybe Drew. No Drew Lock. We can't do that. Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's going to be expensive, though, so I don't know about that. We definitely need a back. Aaron Jones. Najee Harris. Najee Harris being available. I would go for that. Go for Najee Harris. Anybody else available? No, not Javonte Williams. Cowboys, Rico Dowdle? If they don't extend him, maybe bring him. That could be interesting. Cam Akers. I've always kind of liked Cam Akers. He would be interesting to add running back if you're looking for a free agent guy, but you're not trying to spend big money. And these are people who are just projected to go. Gainwell too, if you don't want to break the bank. He just got hurt, but I would still go for Gainwell. Gainwell, Akers. Yeah, I like that. And Najee Harris. Receiver, though, not that many people available. Hollywood Brown's supposed to test free agency. Maybe try for Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown, Cooper, or T. Higgins. T. Higgins is going to be the most expensive one, obviously. Bring Mac Hollins back. He had some decent catches last night. Bring Mac back. You know, Zay Jones? Zay Jones will be available. Bring him back to Vegas, baby. Zay Jones back to Vegas. I'm cool with that. I would take a chance on Tyler Boyd. I wouldn't do a heavy investment. I would take a chance on Tyler Boyd, though. I would do it. I do think Demarcus Robinson's very underrated. Him with Jacoby Myers wouldn't be bad. Demarcus Robinson, I would be content with that. Demarcus Robinson, Jacoby Myers, you still got Trey Tucker when it comes to free agency. But I really hope they get a Najee Harris, or I really hope they spend big at running back. I think we've learned this year that spending big at running back matters even more than spending big at receiver. It seems like you're able to draft actually a good enough receiver. You could draft them easier. It seems like compared to a game-changing running back. Najee Harris is not. I wouldn't put him in the Josh Jacobs, Saquon category. Obviously, I think he's one tier below that, but he's only one tier below that, which is fine. Shout out to Tedford, hire John Fox, Rex Ryan, Rob Ryan, Josh McDaniels. More trash, the merrier. Josh McDaniels, though, man, he's coming for that New England job. I think he's going to take that shit from Mike Vrabel. I would totally not be surprised. I really do think that the second Mike Vrabel has a bad season, boom, genius Josh McDaniels is swooping in and taking that job and will be the head coach of the New England Patriots, just like he always intended to be. And so Rex Ryan too, he was talking a lot of shit saying that he should be the Jets coach. Nobody's going to have energy like me. And now his ass is still on TV. Is he mad about the Aaron Glenn hiring? But shout out to Ted Vervon Patriot. But Rex Ryan's likely pissed about that. So when it comes to corner, though, I think the Raiders will need a corner. Carlton Davis, he's a little up there. Charvarius Ward, if he's healthy, that could be a good pickup. Byron Murphy, too. I like that. I like that idea. Okuda, give him a little contract. That could be interesting. I really like Isaac Yiadom. I think he's a really underrated corner, too. I would like the Raiders to go for him. He bounced around from the Broncos, Saints, now Niners. Dude's in his, mid-20s? He's pretty good. I would invest in him. Take a shot on him. And what? We still need Khalil Mack is there, baby. We got to get Khalil Mack or Chase Young. Pairing one of those Max Crosby. Who knows how much? Or you know what? Are we bringing Cleveland Farrell back? Should we bring Cleveland Farrell back to Vegas, baby? Make good on that draft pick. He was in the playoffs with the Commanders. Bring Cleveland back. Cleveland with Crosby, Christian Wilkins, maybe that's enough. If we can't get Khalil Mack or Chase Young, then I say bring Cleveland Farrell back, or maybe make a play for Josh Sweat. He does well with the Eagles. Yeah. Mack, though, he still wants to go one more year. One more year. I like that. So let me see if we got some more stuff from Pete Carroll's introductory press conference. Could he put the Raiders on his back, man? So they got some more interviews. We talked about the Carl Scott, the D coordinator interview. Nothing yet about the offensive coordinator interview for the Raiders. Rich Bisaccia just got an extension with the Packers. He's going to be there. Let's see what else we got. I'm getting shown some wild stuff on X that I probably shouldn't show you guys. What is this? Bring back insane asylums. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, never mind. Okay, so Cowboys had their introductory press conference with their new coach. Not that exciting. I feel bad for Cowboys fans. I don't see how you're excited about what, Schottenheimer? Ugh. They should have made a big splash. I thought they were going to grab Dion. Whew, man, I went out last night to watch the game. I thought I was going to be watching. I went to a Bills bar. You know, the Bills fans were not even that sad. I don't know if it's just the bar I went to, they were well-adjusted people, but I was expecting Bills fans to be really sad. There's only 2 dudes who were kind of crying because the Bills lost, but I was expecting it to be more sad. A lot of people are just fine and just chilling and just acting like it was a regular game. I'm like, dude, I would be devastated if my team lost in the playoffs to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. So maybe I just don't have a healthy psychology, but I was surprised at these Bills fans that I saw yesterday. They didn't, it didn't seem to bother them that much. And I was like, well, does that mean maybe that's bad for me? Maybe me expecting them to be sad is kind of looks bad on my part. But they probably saw it coming. I mean, it's the Chiefs. Did you really think you're going to win in front of Taylor? You really think they're going to take Taylor out of the playoffs? Even though it was a fair game in terms of the officiating, honestly. Okay, so we don't have anything more. No more updates I'm seeing here when it comes to the Pete Carroll press conference with the Raiders. I am rambling right now, so I am going to peace out just so people can watch this video later on and enjoy it. So peace out, guys. I'll see you